Lots of stuff is hitting, lots of drama. 10 billion. I woke up to so many Discord messages. Oh my God, you got to check this out. Oh my God, what does Smilegate do? Oh my God, worst thing ever, best thing ever, end of the world, beginning of a new era. This is horrible, best, awful, greatest thing ever. So let's jump in and check out the news and see who's overreacting, who's underreacting, and what we have got heading our way. All right, guys, news. It is Wednesday, so we have got news for this week. Special weekend buff event. So you know what that means, right? Special weekend buff event means it's time to burn all of those leafs that you surely have. We're all out of leafs, right? I mean, does anybody still have leafs in this game anymore? It is a buff event. I will once again remind you that they have yet to fix Otherworldly to work well with the buff event. It looks like a 20% increase, and that's very misleading. It's a 20% chance for an additional drop per run. Okay? It doesn't scale up with the number of things that drop. So when you're doing Rift, you get 2 pieces of gear and then a 20% chance for that one other piece of gear to drop. It's effectively like having a pet with a 20% additional chance of gear skill on it. So instead of getting 2 pieces of gear, you're going to get 2.2 pieces of gear. Those are good with math. The difference between 2 pieces of gear and 2.2 pieces of gear is 10% increase. So even though it says 20%, the way it works out with the way gear drops in this is it's actually only a 10% increase to the amount of gear you're going to get per stamina running this. Otherworldly Breach and Otherworldly Hunt, it gets even worse. You're going to go from a 6 pieces of gear to a 6.2 pieces of gear per run. For those of you good with math, you don't need to be told that the difference between 6 and 6.2 is 3.3%. So it's really a 3.3% increase to the amount of gear you're going to get per stamina. Now, is it more? Yeah, it's more. Should you sandbag all of your leafs just to farm this? I don't think it's that big of an increase, guys. The math doesn't work out because of the stacked way Otherworldly Breach works, because they're basically running 6 hunt runs into a single burst of a run. I think they really need to adjust the way the buff effect hits it, because a 3% increase to the amount of gear you get doesn't feel like a buff event. It feels kind of bad. My advice to you is the difference between farming Otherworldly Breach on and off of Hunt is negligible. Like really, you're going to get 100 pieces of gear farming it today, and you'll get 103 pieces of gear farming it over the weekend on average. It's not really worth it. I would use the buff event to farm things other than Hunts, Rifts, and Breach. All right. Rune drop rate is doubled, and that's just straight up doubled. No, right now you would farm, you get 100 runes. You do it during a buff event, you'll get 200 runes. It's actually...
A wise man once said, correct your posture.
There, I corrected my posture. Doing a 2x bonus, that actually feels impactful, like you're getting something out of your stamina. 50% more AP is legitimately 50% more AP. Instead of getting 100 AP, you're going to get 150 AP. It's actually what is advertised. 30% XP increase, which translates directly into gold because of how Stigma and buying penguins works. That is legitimately, instead of getting 100 million gold, you get 130 million gold. All of the buff events are directly impactful and proportional to the numbers on the screen, except for buff event when it comes to Otherworldly and Rift, because of how the stamina is through the roof and the rewards are stacked. They need to adjust this. So I just wanted to point that out to you for people who think they're going to get 20% more gear. No, you're going to get 20% chance to get 1 more piece of gear per run is what that means. And it's not good. So, if you want to spend on this, great. If you want to buy some leafs on this, great. They are doing burning passion packs, because I know you guys are out of leafs and you got to buy those burning passion packs. Still the second best dollar per stamina value in the store. The monthly pack that gives you leafs, that is slightly better than this. So but that's meted out over an entire month. As far as burst buying lease, you can't get better dollar per stamina than burning passion packs by a long shot. So if you want to spend on some burning packs, go for it. And speaking of spending, if you want to save some money, you want to get some discounts, I want you to be aware of the sponsor of today's video, Huawei AppGallery. Through Huawei's AppGallery, you'll be able to save 10, 15, 20, 30% and more on your in-game purchases through Epic 7. You'll be able to make these savings throughout the month of November, December. We're probably even going to push into the next year, here to get you the maximum bang for your buck. You want to follow the link in the description of this video for a step-by-step process on how to get Huawei AppGallery installed. Now, as always, that older video talks about special exchange rates in Turkey. Those don't exist anymore, but the coupons still do. So make sure you're using AppGallery to save tons of money, not just on your burning passion packs, but on your monthly packs. If you're going to spend a little bit, you're going to dip into the reserves to pick up your Saria. Maybe you got to have a sexy Nurse Yulha on your account. You need to spend on that. We got you covered all the way through the Black Friday packs that you know will be coming at the end of this month. Huawei AppGallery. Jump into my Discord, check out the support room. We'll give you all the support you need to make sure you're picking the regions and having the tech support you need to get it set up proper so you can start saving today. Now let's get back to the news. All right. What else do we have to talk about? More than just packs. Saria and Verdant Awakening drop rate up. So Saria is going to hit tonight. No. Tomorrow. No. After maintenance, depending on your time zone. Remember, daylight savings time is hit. So for those of you here in the western part of the world where we do that stupid thing where we change the time on our clocks arbitrarily to F with farm animals and make people generally miserable, 3 a.m. UTC is now no longer 11 p.m. Eastern time. It is now 10 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Pacific. So make sure you set your clocks and are aware and get your guild wars done. Elder Saria and her artifact will go live as soon as maintenance is up. So my take on Elder Saria, she's very, very strong. A lot of people have looked at her kit and thought, wow, this might give me some tools to work into Setska. This is a cleave option. This will make my cleave even better. This is a strong DPS unit, and I love strong DPS unit. This unit has got huge impact on the cleave environment. So maybe you like that. Maybe you say, wow, she looks really good and I want her on my team. All of those things are true. Maybe you think, how am I ever going to impress the women at the pub if I don't have a top 10 Hall of Trial score? And I got to have this unit to get that top 10 Hall of Trial score because, I mean, I'll tell you what, showing off your Hall of Trial score is a real panty dropper. I'm telling you guys. Maybe you think you need this unit. Be aware she is not limited. And we are in the middle of November. And we're going to roll into December, and these 2 months are the time period of limiteds. I would expect a minimum of 2 up to 4 or 5 limited units to be dropped in November and December in the next 60 days. 2 to 5 limited units. If you are free to play, or if you don't want to spend that much, maybe hold off on Saria. Maybe pick her up down the road. There's nothing she does that you can't live without. My take on it. Now, if you just want her because the heart wants what the heart wants, then you go get her. I'm certainly pulling her. She plays like the way I want to play, but I also don't mind spending on this game. So there you go. Her artifact, is kind of a nice little bridge artifact. I don't think it's that important. I think you could full on skip this artifact. If you get Saria on your first 10 pulls, I would be done. I wouldn't keep chasing the artifact. Is not necessary. It's got some nice niche uses to it, but I would hard pass on it. If you get it, great. I wouldn't even spend powder on it. I would save that powder up for actual limited artifacts that'll be coming soon. At the clock in the upper right hand corner of RTA, and if it says 2 days and however many hours, you do 1 fight, get into Masters, and you are done for the season. You don't need to do any other fights. For those of you who want math on that, that is 10:01 p.m. on Tuesday the 11th. Do 1 fight on that day in Masters, and you're done for the season to get your frame. For those of you who just want to dip and get out and don't want to worry about DK.
amid this ceaseless cycle. May you find the righteous path.
Okay, Spirit Isolene, Sentinel of Twilight. Kind of muted colors. I'm not a fan of them removing a lot of the colors from the skin, but the detail and the artwork on it is above the pale. Art team knocking it out of the park. I think 90% of the people I talk to love the skin, and 10% that don't love it either don't love the loss of color palette or don't love the voice actress change. Each their own. If you like it, use it. If you don't like it, don't. If you like both, build two Selenes. Correct your posture. Nobody pull for Charles. He's cool. Crispin Freeman voice actor, but let's be real, he's not viable anywhere in the game really, except maybe Constellations for Perdition level. That's it, guys. That's it. Nothing else. Maybe. Let's see what else is said in the update. The new hero, Elder Saria, I have a whole video talking about her. She is a Giga Strong nuker. She is a cleave or high aggro style unit. If you don't play very aggressively in RTA, which is very, very difficult right now, you're not going to get much use out of her outside of maybe Hall of Trials this time around. She is not limited, and her artifact isn't that good. If she's waifu and you have to have her, you go for it. But if you are free to play, at least wait until the last week and see what kind of crazy stuff happens around Black Friday, because trust me, guys, limiteds are coming and you're going to have to spend. Okay, her artifact I think is just garbage. Not garbage, just not very good. It's mostly for bridge, and you don't need a bridge when you're cleaving that much. I don't know. I'm sure it'll find some uses. Dunblaria trembles under the Archdemon's invasion, so it'll be cool to get some more backstory all the way back to chapter 1. Learn about Elder Saria and Saria. I wonder if this will be told from the standpoint of Epic 6, where Saria dies and Saria lives, or if it'll be told from the stance of Epic 7, where Saria lives and Saria dies. It'll be interesting to see which story they stick with on this one. Standard farmable story with a shop, all that kind of good stuff. What do you buy from the shop? You buy whatever you need. There's no reason to clean it out. If you've got 100,000 AP, don't buy the catalysts. If you got 800 Mola, don't buy the Mola. Just buy what you need out of it. And her banner goes live right after maintenance. And guys, it's bait. Everything's bait. Everything is bait. Sale of energy purchases with a special coupon, including lay scale packs, will end. Great. Error equipment, error code, Astroforge attained after 25th. Discrepancies fixed, UI fix, graphics fix. That's it, guys. That is the entire nope date for Epic 7. I mean, I guess we can't have too much going on to distract people from playing CZN right now. So that's that. And I guess there's nothing else that happened today, right?
That's enough whining.
Okay, first of all, it's like she's talking directly to Reddit and Stove.
Now, will my next patient come in? Welcome. So, what ails you today? That's enough whining.
That's enough whining.
Time to be fun anew. You be careful now, okay?
Do you guys see that? She uses the paddles, and you gotta slow it down to frame by frame, but look at the dude behind the curtain getting all zapped. I love that.
You be careful now, okay?
Yulha is the only school nurse at Gon High and is a stunning beauty who appears to be in her early 20s.
One more time, because somebody always says it, not AI. The guy voicing this is a real person. Past people who did these videos didn't enunciate well enough, weren't clear enough, and he's trying really, really hard to be clear when he speaks, and it sounds a little robotic, but trust, actual real person.
Always wearing a gentle and warm smile. Anyone who stands before her feels the urge to fake an illness just to be cared for. A calm, soothing beauty that everyone can't help but rely on. Well, so it would seem. In reality, she hides her violent, wicked nature behind this gentle facade. Yulha would ruin the world twice over for the sake of her beloved niece, Lua. And she harbors a dark secret that not a single soul knows.
Okay, I'm in. I'm so in.
School Nurse Yulha is a 5.
How about that, guys? Legitimately a thief. Man, if she wants this artifact that's on the limited thief banner, that's scummy as hell, because there is less than 12 hours, 10, 11 hours left in that banner.
Star Dark Elemental Thief. She has relatively high health and attack, and can increase her effectiveness further through her imprint concentration.
She's kind of zoomy. 115 speed is fast for a thief, especially. I mean, well, not for a thief. A lot of thieves are stupid fast. I guess that's fine, but the high health is very unusual for a thief.
Skill 2.
Skill 2. There, it'll feel better. At the start of the first battle, increases attack proportional to max health. So we got Fire Ravi's effect, right, where you don't have to stack attack so much because her health is going to increase proportional to her attack, which means and it's at the start of the first battle, which means injury is not going to reduce that proportionality, right? So if you don't think, oh, we can just injure her and make her attack lower, that's not how it works, because it's locked at the start of the battle. At the start of an ally's turn, dispels 1 debuff from the target. At an ally's turn dispels 1 debuff from the target and recovers health proportional to the caster's max health. That's wild. So she effectively gives every single person on your team Wondrous Potion Vial and made Chloe's passive. And she's a thief, guys. Really, she is a thief. She's you know why she's a thief? Because she stole Soul Weaver's jobs. Okay, and you can stack this passive up for an additional, good lord, 35% additional healing. So it ought to be pretty significant amount of healing. This is one of the first units I've seen where the passive is every time allies take turns. And remember, she is your ally. She is an ally of the players, so this will go off on her turn as well.
There, it'll feel better. At the start of the first battle, increases attack proportional to the caster's max health. At the start of an ally's turn, dispels 1 debuff from the target and recovers health proportional.
Yeah, you saw how it worked on her own turn, right? So she's wearing a debuff, right? She takes the turn, and poof, one of the debuffs went away, and she healed herself. 2735 on a 25k health Yulha. Pretty solid heal
From the target and recovers health
for a passive, guys.
To the caster's max health. Skill 3.
Still 3. It's time to be reborn. Dispels all debuffs from an ally except for the caster before fully recovering health. Grants superhumanization. Superhumanization, that's a whole ass word, to the target for 3 turns and increases combat radius by 50%. When the target is already dead, revives them with 100% health before the same effect is applied. So she'll bring them back to life and superhumanize them as well. This skill is unaffected by cooldowns. And I was just thinking, you know what this game needs? This game needs a thief who's actually a soul reaver who can bring people back from the dead. Okay, so what do we got here? Superhumanization, undispellable, increases max health and speed by 100%. You guys like Ruel? How about Ruel plus Ultra? Dispels all debuffs, just like Ruel, on an ally, except for the caster, unlike Ruel, so she can't use, she doesn't cleanse herself, before recovering health fully. I guess it just says recovering health. We assume it's 100% recover, like Ruel. Superhumanize the target for 3 turns, so we get superhumanize instead of the invulnerability shield. We get a 50% CR push, which is nice, and we get a revive with 100% health and superhumanize if they're already dead. Smilegate doesn't English so well, so what I'm reading here is if they're alive, they get superhumanize, and a combat readiness push. If they're dead, they get brought back to life with superhumanized, but without the combat readiness push, right? I guess we'll see in the video. We'll see if they get the CR push from this when they're dead or not, because it says the same effect is applied but singular, not effects. So I don't think they get it. If the skill is unaffected by cooldown, increase, decrease effects, so you cannot, unlike Ruel, you can't put Wondrous Potion Vial on her, and you can't reset the skill with units like Aram and things like that, because that would be disgusting.
Time to be reborn. Dispels all debuffs from an ally.
Oh shit, I just realized this is a 4-turn cooldown too. 7, 6, 5, 4-turn cooldown. This will cycle quickly.
Except for the caster before fully recovering health. Grants superhumanization to the target for 3 turns and increases combat readiness by 50%. When the target is already dead, revives them with 100% health before the same effect is applied.
Okay, so where is FCC? I don't see her on the sidebar, unfortunately. Let's see if she CR pushes when she's brought back.
Max health and speed by 100%. The skill is unaffected by cooldown increase and decrease effects.
Oh, never mind. She just put it on Yuffie instead of bringing back FCC. Okay, skill 1. That'll sting. Or this'll sting. Oh, sting me. Attacks the enemy with a scalpel. With a 65, 75% chance to inflict 2 bleeding effects for 2 turns. At the end of the turn, detonates bleeding effects on the target. Okay, that's a chunk of damage. Bleed is based on attack, and the attack's going to scale proportional with her HP. Did I miscount it? 65, 70, 80%. I miscounted 80% chance to stick 2 bleeds. 80% chance to stick 2 bleeds and detonate them. If you soul burn, grants an extra attack with the same skill. So that could be up to 4 bleeds and detonating them when you soul burn. Bleeds, I think, are 3% of your attack. It's not that high, but it's still pop damage. This will still do significant damage. Yeah, especially into the warfare rules. I think this is an attempt to make the warfare rules relevant. So you don't need damage on this unit because she's going to do everything with her bleed. She's going to be I think you aren't going to want to build her with damage.
Attacks the enemy with a scalpel, with up to an 80% chance each to inflict 2 bleeding effects for 2 turns.
Yeah, so this is where people are going to be thinking about that new thief artifact, right? They're going to be thinking, oh, I can get 2 40% chances, which it's not additive, guys. It's not 80% chances, 2 40% chances, which is basically a 65-ish% chance for the artifact to proc and be able to perpetually do this, right? So you soul burn, she does an attack, chance to proc the artifact, does a check, chance to proc the artifact, and if the artifact procs, then she can soul burn, get a chance to proc the artifact, get a chance to proc the artifact again. It's, 65% chance to have the artifact to be able to just spam do this attack, right? And then that'll eventually get you around to the point where she can do her S3 again, because it's only a 4-turn cooldown. So she used the skill 3 turns, she soul burns this, gets an extra attack off the artifact 2 turns, she soul burns with this, gets into extra attack 1 turn. She goes around the horn again, and she can use her S3 again, theoretically, right? If you decided you wanted to use her artifact, you'll be able to stack a shit ton of bleeds and pop through and do a lot of damage into units who have damage limit. Actually, probably be really nice into free rins. Okay, we'll talk about the artifact in a minute, though. Let's see the rest of this.
Detonates bleeding effect inflicted on the target.
Okay, so there's 2. Her artifact proc
Tin soul is consumed.
Hits again.
An extra attack with the same skill.
And now she's ready to go again because the artifact procced. It could have procced on either of those attacks. So it's 2 chances at that 40% proc. 30% proc at plus 15, guys. 40% proc is only at plus 30. Most people don't have that garbage can artifact at plus 30. So the bleed's detonated. How much damage did it do?
When tin soul is consumed, grants
4 bleeds.
an extra attack with the
did 12k damage. 4 bleeds did 12k damage. So it does add up pretty quickly.
Same skill.
That's enough whining. Time to be party.
The mysterious school nurse who's captured the hearts of even the most delinquent students. Players will be able to meet School Nurse Yulha through the Mystic Summon starting November 20th.
Freakishly, right before Black Friday packs go on sale. How could any have seen this coming?
Thank you.
All right, guys, let's talk about this unit, artifacts. Let's talk first about this thief artifact, right? It gives you more attack, which is going to make the bleeds hit harder. Her HP stacks into the attack, which is why the bleeds are hitting so hard, because you're getting that proportionality boost from the HP into her attack. And the artifact has a chance to give you extra turns, 2 chances if you soul burn. First, you got to have the souls to soul burn, be willing to waste those souls onto her for the roughly coin toss chance of having that artifact proc and making it viable. So also, if there's immunity up, as you just saw there, S1ing into Rast didn't do anything because you can't stick debuffs onto him. Immunity is going to be a big thing to slow down that damage from her bleeds. Once again, I cannot overstress the importance of immunity in this meta. Immunity sets are giga important. You guys should get your A13 farms on and stack up some immunity sets. There's only a few hours left to pull on that Scam Thief banner. Everything is bait. Remember when I said everything is bait? Even this is bait. I don't think that artifact is necessary. That artifact's one of those things that's going to let her maybe get a chance to cleanse some extra buffs, maybe get a chance to get some extra heals, maybe get a chance to cycle her S3, sure. But you see how dead she is right now? I think there are better artifacts. She is a thief, guys. She is a thief. How about Moonlight Dreamblade to give her an attack buff, so that her already stacked up attack gets an attack buff and her bleeds are really impactful, and now she dodges. How about Violet's Talisman? How about Violet's Talisman so you get a shit ton of attack and you can just avoid being hit? Even, yeah, Dust Devil, RNL. Ooh, Renok's artifact is a clever idea. I think there are plenty of artifacts that'll be good, maybe even better than this thief artifact. If you want to pick up one of these thief artifacts to be future-proof, not a bad idea. I certainly did. I picked up one from the powder shop. Me personally, I'm feeling Violet's Talisman on her. It's going to keep her alive, and this is a unit you want to stick around. The longer she sticks around, the harder. What happens when Ruel is on the team? What's the first thing in your mind? Get frickin' Ruel off their team so I can finish killing their team. This is no different. When Yulha's on the team, what's on your mind is getting rid of Yulha. So you want to do things to keep her alive. And I think having an additional 30% evasion on your unit, you run her with Setsuka, that's 80% evasion. She's a dark unit. You run her with Setsuka and with ML Pera, it's 90% evasion. Good luck killing this girl with 90% evasion and the attack boost from Violet's Talisman. I think there are plenty of artifacts out there that will be good on this unit that aren't this limited garbage scam artifact, but that's your call. If you want to go ahead and shoot for this artifact, go for it. Someone asked the difference side by side for RNL. That's easy. RNL has more attack stats. This artifact has more HP stats. Everything about this artifact is better, except RNL is attack oriented. This artifact is HP oriented. And this artifact only works on S1s. RNL works on every skill. I'm just not a fan of it, guys. I mean, it'll be annoying. It's going to be one of those where you're fighting and be like, well, of course the artifact procced again kind of things, right? Remember fighting Rand Never Loses and how annoying RNL was? It's going to be a very similar situation. Very similar frustrating annoyance to Rand's RNL. But do I think it's going to be a must-have artifact on her? No, I don't. I think it's very skippable and you guys don't necessarily need it. I think there are plenty of other options to go with on this unit if you want to save your bookmarks. The fact that this artifact looks best in slot, that they demoed it on this unit, specifically demoed it on this unit when there are only 10 hours left to summon for it, is high-end gotcha FOMO, and it's one of the scummier things Smilegate's done in a while to force this FOMO on a unit you haven't even pulled yet, that maybe you don't even get to pull, that if you pull, maybe you find out you like other artifacts better, and then limited units drop and you're out of bookmarks. I'm not about it. I think you pick up one from the powder shop, and if it's insane, you can powder it up later, bottle it up later, but I can't encourage you enough to stay away from the scam banner simply because of all of the limit. It's the same reasons I'm urging you to stay away from Saria. It's very, very dangerous. Will it be good on her? Hell yeah. But I don't know if it'll be broken on her. Who is she going to be good with, guys? Right? We got a unit that can double the HP and speed of the front unit, right? Some of you are missing this. Some of you guys are missing this. Increases health and speed by 100%. Who needs health and speed? Renak, sure. Mort doesn't need speed. Setsuka doesn't need speed. Fern, look, guys, it's a buff that makes Fern live more than 2 rounds. It's a buff Fern needs. And there it is, Mr. Small Rabbit. Mr. Small Rabbit, Last Rider Crow. Get ready for a 400 speed, 40k HP, 60k HP, Last Rider Crow on 3F. Yeah, think about it. His bike damage scales off of his own speed, and it's really high scaling because you can't get a ton of speed on Last Rider Crow. It scales off his health and his speed, and it's always been kind of mediocre because you can't stack a ton of speed on Crow. So people just stack the HP and use that too. Can you guys imagine? Imagine what this is going to be like on the bike man, how fast his skills are going to cycle with 3 turns of 400 speed on him, plus you got other units that can reduce that cooldown. Oh my God. I think this is the biggest Last Rider Crow buff ever. And I think everybody is sleeping on it, except for a Small Rabbit. Good on you, buddy. Good on you. But yeah, everybody's all excited about it, right? Oh, the 90k Dark Corvus, the 80k Green Yulha, double Yulha up. Oh yeah, it's scary. I don't like this unit. As much fun as it is to talk about, this is not a fun unit to fight. Oh yeah, enjoy your 90k Dragon Bride Senya on 3F, giving a barrier proportional to her health. That's going to be a riot. This is not a fun unit. If you thought fighting Maiden Ruel was boring, buckle up. This is going to be miserable. Now, she will not be available for RTA. Her banner doesn't happen until the 20th, which means she's not going to be a part of this season, just like Saria is not going to be a part of this season. Okay? So you don't have to worry about her messing up your push for Emperor or your first attempt to get your frame in Masters. You can kind of pass on all of that. But if you hated fighting Maiden Ruel before, enjoy fighting Yulha now. This is not what I expected, and this is not what I wanted. I think this is objectively bad for the game, and I think it's going to make RTA miserable, as if it wasn't already. But we'll see. We've been wrong before, right? We've all been very wrong about units. We thought certain units would be the end of the world, and they kind of were a blip on the radar, and we thought other units were going to be kind of meh, and they wound up dominating the meta for months. So we really, as always, are in a wait and see kind of a window. Oh my God, Bellcock. You're right. You know what just became the highest DPS artifact in this game? Daydream Joker. It happened. It finally happened. We have finally gotten units over 50k health, right? 50k was always kind of the threshold.
Her S3 cannot be affected by cooldowns, so no candlestick shenanigans.
Yeah, we said that, but I mean, who cares? It's a short cooldown that she can soul burn through, and you know she's fast enough that she'll be able to zoom through it. But yeah, Daydream Joker, right? 50k is the threshold, so anything above 50k health takes more damage from Daydream Joker than from a 20% damage boost. So yeah. Oh God, if you're going to want to be able to slaughter those those 80k HP units, maybe you got to start using DDJ as a DPS artifact. That's wild. Don't do it, guys. Don't really do it. Time to run Lorena on Daydream Joker, right? Your Lorena can be on her PvP and PvE artifact now. Imagine Maid Ruel Yulha players. That's just a stall comp. I mean, you you pick Bricerius Angelica and then Sage Ball and destroy them. There's no way they can win. It's not an I win button, guys. It's not like you can't possibly beat this unit when you pair her with these other units. It's just going to allow for some very boring, long fights that are not going to be fun or compelling. At a time when nobody is playing RTA, it's not really what we needed in this game. We didn't need a unit who's going to make things less fun. So how about that CZN? All right, guys, let me know what you think. Am I overhyping her or underhyping her? Am I completely off base on the artifact? Do you guys think Last Rider Crow is getting the biggest glow up ever, or do you think that's cap? Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care, Epic 7. Special shout out to my Wolf Pack for supporting me on Patreon. Thank you so much. If you would like to become a Patreon supporter, click this link right here and become a member of the Wolf Pack. You will be able to get ad-free videos, advanced access to videos, as well as other special perks through your membership. So check me out at patreon.com/TristenWulf, and I'll catch you in the next one.